you
Wait,
just have
hold
to
up.
do
20 years. You don't look that
20
old.
years.
You guys
Yes,
don't- you guys
yes,
don't look
20
that
years.
old.
Yeah. I started when I was 1. Nah, just
Basic dinners, sometimes no dinners, sometimes brinners, right? Breakfast for dinner, just making everything happen and work.
Aloha and welcome to our Investing in Hawaii podcast, where we teach people how to invest in real estate, build generational wealth, and achieve financial freedom.
My name is Fuzzy Jardine, and this is my partner,
Zasha Smith.
And today we're here with special guests from Kona, from the Big Island. And we met this power couple at one of our tax auction events, I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
Me and Zasha held the tax auction event and brought a Nick over here and Raquel Ani from Kona, a dynamic duo from Kona, a couple that is smashing it. Raquel is a real estate, agent, and Rick is a awesome contractor from the Kona side. He knows a lot about doing construction in the Kona side and in Waikoloa. We're excited to have you guys on this podcast.
Perfect.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
You guys are actually taking action in the real estate industry there in the Big Island. So welcome on this podcast.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So tell us a little bit about kind of what you guys do and maybe even about your first deal. Let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so basically we service the Kona area. That's our primary area. Born and raised there in Kona, and we actually found our first deal from a wholesaler. And I thought it was a scam. I didn't know what was going on and such because I got an email and he's like, oh, if you're interested in this house, just go to the house, and such. I'm like, well, I'm a realtor, so do you have the lockbox key? And he's like, no, just go in. It's vacant. And I thought for sure, I was like, something's going on. Somebody's going to set me up or something. So I brought Nick along with me, but then sure enough, everything panned out and everything worked out. It was a legitimate acquisition management company. And so we went in, we purchased it for $230. We renovated that and then we sold it with 8 deals on the table. We ended up selling it at $675. So
Dang. So how much did you make on your first deal?
So on the first one, we got lucky. We made $280,000 on the first deal. So that was just kind of, again, very grateful for the opportunity. And we did go through Fortune Builders to learn, to get the education and for the networking and everything. So that was the first deal that we did. So very, very grateful and blessed on that.
So I was part of Fortune Builders too, and my journey kind of started, on Oahu, but then ended up on the Big Island because I grew up in Hilo. So me and Zasha just created a Hui mastermind, and we teach other students that's in Hawaii. How did that go? What did you guys do in the beginning when you first started with Fortune Builders?
Yeah, so we heard the ad on the radio, and so I told him, I said, hey, let's go check this out. This is something that I've been always wanting to do. And so we went, we signed up and everything, and then we ended up joining. And, again, people were skeptical and stuff like that. But you know what? We just trusted the process and just trusted, what we saw other people doing it, other local people doing it. And we're like, well, let's do it. Let's do it ourselves, right? And so we did. And they had training courses, which was amazing. They have coaches and such. But the main thing I think that was important for me is the networking. So we have this huge group now, and then we have a Facebook page that comes in handy because people have questions. And, if you can't get on the phone with a coach, if they're busy or whatever, then at least you can, use that as a resource. Or if you need hey, you know what, I got a deal on the table. I need just gap funding. And then you post it on there and then poof, there it is. Right? Whoop, there it is. Poof, instead of whoop.
280,000.
280 poops.
But none of that, it comes down to none of that will work unless you make it work. Right? So we can invest, like yourself, right? You invest in yourself, you put that money up front for coaching and networking and this platform and all of this paperwork and the spreadsheets and then everything that she mentioned. We can invest this money into ourselves initially, but no matter what platform you sign up with or what you do, nothing's going to work unless you make it work. Right? So you can't blame, okay, well, Fortune Builders didn't work. No, it's not that, right? It's the person that is, taking the initiative. You need to take the initiative in order for any system to work, right? So just like you folks has, started your folks' own coaching and your guys' website also, and it's the same thing, right? As if you guys have students, you guys only can do so much, right? You guys only can teach as much as you want to, but the students have to implement the knowledge and wisdom that you folks are giving them in order for your system to work. right? You can't just, okay, I'm signing up for Hui Mastermind and then sit on the couch and be like, okay, I'm gonna make 280 grand.
What you mean? You just sit on the book and let the thing come up.
Yeah,
Osmosis,
exactly.
or
Just
sleep,
you sleep
on
on
it.
it.
Osmosis, right? So that's what I learned from this, these programs is you have to be able to, yes, you invest this money, but at the same time, you have to be able to be that guy to be like, I'm going to do it and utilize that education that you get in order for that system to work.
Right. To me, it was one of the best things that ever happened one of the best things that I decided to pull the trigger on and pay for this education. And it wasn't cheap, but it was well worth it. And I think when Zasha,
What was that?
It was $26K, right? And that was it was a lot of money to just put up. But at that time, I was ready. I was ready to take action. My wife was my girlfriend at the time, but we also was in escrow to purchase our first home at that time. So she's like, what are you doing? Right? And I understand, right? It's like, yeah, I'm crazy, but what they said made sense, and that's why I pulled the trigger. And I'm here today just to share my journey, because I went through growing up rough, like without, and then the trouble changed my life. I just kind of wanted to talk to you both, because you guys are born and raised in Kona. What was your guys' background like growing up in Kona?
I'm actually originated from the east side of
Oahu.
Like any other local community, we had that rough upbringing, right? The tough love, and parents never around because they're either out there hustling or throwing back 12-ounce curls, right? Doing this deal. So, we had the rough, really basic dinners, sometimes no dinners, sometimes brinners, right? Breakfast for dinner, just making everything happen and work to make ends meet, and having that rough upbringing. And without having that proper parenting, we end up gallivanting in Manuela Boy, right? So now we're going here, we're going there, and now I'm ending, now I'm down Oniava Drive, biking down Oniava Drive, hanging out by the bars, and this is in Kailua, and then I flew back to the Big Island, and then that's where we relocated and grew up. But at the same time, we kind of went through the same upbringing, same rough, tough, because it's the same parents, just a different neighborhood. Right. But at that point, same thing, we didn't have our parents again because they had to work so much hours and double or triple jobs to make ends meet that we were freelancing.
And has it changed, you think? Nowadays, no way. I mean,
I think, we talk about this all the time about generational curse, right?
Right.
And it's been brought down all the way down. It's sad because it hasn't been broken, right? And it's our job to try and break it so that way we can change it. But we did the surf, stay at the beach all day, eat manapua, icy, hitchhike back home, the same stuff, right? Your parents are working and you just living life. And it forced us to grow up quick. I couldn't tell you how much gourmet Hot Pocket dinners I had. Right. You know what I mean? Gourmet couple noodles. You throw it in the Ogo, Vienna sausage,
switch them up a little bit.
Egg drop couple noodle. Right?
Nice.
That was our gourmet dinners back then, But so that was kind of my upbringing in both Kailua Kona, and also Kailua Oahu. So,
yeah, for me, grew up in Kona, born and raised. Grew up in Holualoa, a little coffee shack where it rains and the rain's coming through the roof. It's a tin roof. I didn't have a ceiling. I had a tarp over my room, tied up with one-piece rope, and you could hear the spiders crawling across. And I'm
cane spiders.
Oh, the cane spiders! I swear they were after me. They would chase me around the house. Literally, my brothers and sisters used to chase me around the house with the spider. So I'm still definitely afraid. But never owned a Barbie doll, never had a dishwasher ever. But I look at it as like, it's like good times. And I wish the kids nowadays could experience, go outside, go play with the dogs, go outside, go get dirty, like go scuff your knee. Like, I mean, don't get hurt, but you know what I mean? Like just go outside and get some vitamin D and have fun. Like, I look at that and, I just wish the kids would experience that a little bit more, but that comes down to parenting too, if we allow them to be on the phone all the time and stuff.
We're so busy.
Yeah,
I
right.
That with me and my family, like every time we're going home, I'm looking at my family, we all stay, No, I'm at fault too, right? Because I'm the parent, like I should, and the head of the house, I should be like, hey, you know what? After this certain time, we talked, my wife and I talked about it. So I think we're going to kind of implement that for 2024.
Yeah, try something different.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, all our stuff is, in the corner, and then maybe
Mhm.
we'll play Monopoly or play games, so.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that, right?
Good luck.
But we're going to have to
No, we
change.
that's what I started doing, was just leaving my phone in the bedroom until,
Mhm.
when I get home. And then 'cause that's the biggest deterrent, I think. And if your kids see you doing it, then they're going to do it too.
Mhm. Right.
But I think too, it brings us back to our upbringing where
Mhm.
because we grew up with so little, we want to give them so much,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't remember that, they still need not tough love,
Mhm.
but they still need us to not give in so much. Because
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too. I give in,
Mhm.
like, though my daughter especially, she'll just say like, oh, but I'll just go, okay, fine. Like, I just don't want to
That's
deal with
me,
it.
guilty.
Right? Yeah.
He always comes and asks me for money. I'm like, ask your dad. No, I can't do that.
Always going to the weakling.
Hey, whoa, off the record, right?
Yeah, off the record.
Well, so it's great to hear both of your stories, and that you grew up, you're local, you're from the islands, and that's really what we want to showcase, especially to using this platform, is to share your successes. You grew up without money, because that's important for people to know. And then how did you kind of get into real estate and just the investing side, or know what to do with your finances? Because a lot of people, that's where we feel like we wish we would have known more about finances. We didn't grow up, all of us, I believe, didn't grow up with that backing. So how did you even start to get on that journey?
I think it started really, like, we've always had it in the back of our head, like, we can do great things together, having the real estate side and then him having the construction side. And so we had clients that were investors. And so I would represent the purchase and the sale of the transaction. And when I'm looking at the final settlement statement, I see grateful for my check, my commission check as a realtor. But then when I see that the investor is making 6 figures, I'm like, I got to be on that side of the equation. And so I was like, I had to readjust the thinking. And, we grew up just thinking, okay, we're just going to go to college, after high school, go to college, go find a job and just work. You
Wait,
just have to do
20 years. You don't look that
20
old.
years.
You
Yes,
don't
20
look that old.
years. Yeah. I started when I was 1. Nah, just
Right.
kidding. But I think that was the first initial shift. And so I started kind of like looking into other ways, like getting into like fortune builders. I think was a huge component, is finding mentorship. Finding a coach is definitely huge, because people have gone through things in real estate investing. So it's great finding a coach and a mentorship program that can guide you so you avoid costly mistakes in the long run. And it's not all, peaches and roses and everything else. There's highs and lows, but you know what? At least you have a team. At least you have somebody you can call up and be like, hey, you know what? I don't know what to do. Oh, all you got to do is this. And I'm like, oh, I never even thought about that. So having collaboration and having a network, I think, is really, really key. We joined Fortune Builders, and then we just started kind of like educating ourselves, reading books, and just really watching. I know I'm on my phone, but I'm actually like watching like Ryan Panetta, or like, like watching people like Thatch and stuff. And of course you guys, I mean, oh my gosh, right?
You gotta follow them.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's the kind already like marked star, pin them. I pin them already.
Favorites.
Oh, favorites. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty
the
much
journey
it.
actually, it kind of, it's weird how it started, because I, like I was telling Fuzzy earlier today, I actually have associates in fire science as a firefighter, and I was in the fire department, and people was like, wait, what? How come this, and how come this, and how come you chose this? And I went from food and beverage all these years, and then firefighting, and then I moved to Kona, and then I took my father's company as I was an intern. I was a laborer in 2006. I was his laborer, and I worked all the way up from a laborer all the way to his foreman. And then I took the passion, and stuff fell apart when his own choices. But then I told myself, hey, I have the relationships with these owners. He was the boss, but I had the relationship already. So let me try this out. So then we had jobs that weren't finished. So I had to have the relationships with him. So I told him, you know what? I'm going to finish this. And I said, you know what? I'm going to run with this from here on out. I'm going to change the name. I'm going to keep the crew, and I'm going to continue doing what we're doing. And then her and I, she did her stuff with general real estate, and we used to always watch TV, right? These flipping people.
Mhm.
Flipping this and the couple doing this and Vegas and all of this. And
We can do it, too.
and we're like,
Me too.
man, it's so perfect, right?
Yeah,
And then,
easy.
you know, it's very, you know, like everybody says, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on TV.
Oh,
Yeah, nowhere. We
easy.
can. So we told ourselves, hey, we can too. And then, so that's how we actually pursued it. She came home from the Marriott and the Hilton, and I'm still in the construction game, right? Whether we like it or not. And then she brought up the Fortune Builders and basically just saying, we got to do it.
Right.
You know, we
Mm-hmm.
got to make this thing work. We made the investment. We got to do something with this education.
Mhm.
And then that's where we stand today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So amazing because, like, you know, when I met you, we talked at the tax deed live event. We were like, we didn't even know that we knew of people, you know, my brother, my dad, you know, you like live right down the road from them. So it was kind of crazy how we're just one person away from knowing somebody else.
Right.
Mhm.
And then that's one thing about Hawaii, you know, it's not what you know. Sometimes it's who you know, and
Mhm.
a lot of things can get, you know, jump over the hill because you know uncle, you know auntie, right? So you can go faster.
Mhm.
If you get stuck with something that you know an uncle and auntie that can be like, oh, you in what? You in that? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, just reality, right? This reality in Hawaii, and it's just like you guys said, like you said, community, right?
Mhm.
The community that we grew up in, all our parents is kind of like the same
Mhm.
thing. They never, like a lot of them, like maybe your dad was in business, but like my grandfather worked as a painter, and then my mom had like 3 or 4 jobs.
Mhm.
Like they always worked, and they never like really created a business out of it, and then taught us, you know, to become entrepreneurs. Just always, you know,
Work.
go work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
go
Exactly.
work, or go join the military.
Or you
Yeah.
get one good job. Good job.
Yeah.
You got a job.
Mhm.
Okay,
Oh, you're
cool.
making it,
You
yes.
made it.
You
Yeah.
can get retirement.
Yeah.
What is the retirement doing, you know? So, and that's one thing I realized why I got involved with the real estate industry, because I could create my own retirement through the buy and hold properties that I have, and that, you know, the money can pay me for vacations or my hospital bill or whatever it is.
Well, and so for you guys, I know Kona is kind of getting a little bit more expensive. So what are you guys seeing as far as the real estate side, and how are you guys still like finding deals out there? Because that's a common question we get too, is how do I find a deal?
Yeah. I think overall, like even nationwide, there's still like a low or a lack of inventory still. So we were focusing on like fix and flips and such, but now like because there's such a lack of inventory, so those fix and flips are no longer wholesale, quote unquote, you know, prices. So they're like selling to at almost like fair market. So, you know, looking at the numbers and making sure, does it work or does it not work? So we started seeing that it really wasn't working within our numbers. So we started to, hey, you know what? You just pivot. You pivot, you just go. And we're expanding and looking at new builds now. Thanks to both of you for inspiring us that, you know what, there's other opportunities. There's other ways that you can just work in real estate investing. So finding deals, I think it's really what's helped is social media and such. And, you know, putting yourself out there, you know, and being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Like for me, last December was the first time I went up on stage. I'd never do that, but that produced opportunities and you get to collaborate and such. And then also like joining like Facebook groups and like just really taking the initiative and to just go out there and go search, go online, go search. There's groups out there, you know, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm here on the Big Island. Hey, if you got anything, send them my way. Anything Hawaii, I got it. Like, you know what I mean? And then if you find something on another island, no problem. Hey, you know what? I know somebody else that might want that deal. Wholesale it to them, maybe. I don't know. Or, you know, however it works. But you know.
And that's what we have a lot of questions is how do you find the deals? And that's essentially what we help our students do too, is like, hey, these are how you make connections. This is what you do. It may be weird for you to like reach out to someone else, but even when I started my social media, I never thought I'd grow to over 100,000 people watching me, and people would want to actually know what I do. But it has turned out to be like one of the best things ever, because like you mentioned, different opportunities, affiliate things, being able to speak on stage, connecting with other investors has helped me been able to scale to like, you know, now these apartment buildings, building affordable housing with Fuzzy, and
not one, But 32.
32.
You know?
A lot.
Yeah.
You know, big, you got into the new builds from not
Mhm.
one, but no, we going 32.
Yeah, we going big.
So
Yeah.
you never realize who's watching you or who
Mhm.
wants to support you. You know,
Mhm.
there's people out there too who lend on our projects or who want to invest with us, and they just either never knew how or knew it was a thing, or they never knew how to reach out to people. And so if you open that door, there's so many different ways that not only you can better your life, but you could help someone else as well.
Yes.
So what are some things that you see that need to be done differently in this industry, or that you want to see more of, especially on the investing side and being local?
There's actually quite a few things that we all can work on in this industry as investors. Is number one that brings, that comes to light for me is more teamwork. Looking at each other as a possible teammate or a possible partner instead of looking at each other as a possible threat, right? We look at each other as, hey, if somebody needs help, you lend that reaching hand out and say, well, my team, I have so and so. Do you need help in that area? Because I have suggestions for you. Versus, having that same crab in the bucket syndrome, right? The crab in the bucket syndrome is very strong in the local industry, right? Everybody's trying to swipe away and grab that crab that's so in the bucket. A lot of people are saying, well, why are you in that bucket? Make your actions so fast that you're not even in the same bucket as those crabs that are trying to grab your leg. My suggestion is for everybody in the real estate investing is to look at each other as not only friends or partners, but also to that you're trying to help each other succeed. Be happy for one another. And if you succeed, we're happy because we had something to do with that. Whether you listen to a podcast of one of your folks' one, or listen to one of, or signed up for your guys's Hui Mastermind, or anything that, I heard something positive from Raquel, or I heard Nick say this, which pushed me to get off the couch, or anything, something like a small win, right? But I want to be able to hear people say, hey, good job, bro. Congratulations. I'm proud that you made money. Good job. That word, good job, and I'm proud of you is, a lot of, it's sad to say this, but a lot of locals have a hard time saying that. Being proud of
Too much pride.
whatever it is, pride, ego, whatever shall be. But that's what I would like to see more of in the investing world is, let's not compete. Let's try and help everybody succeed. That saying, no child left behind.
Right.
That's what I would like to see more of in the investing world.
Well, and I like that because for us, it's more about collaboration over competition. And for me, especially because I was kind of doing this on my own for so long, I knew the only way for me to grow was to partner, because I wanted to get to my 10-year goals in 3 years. Did that, but somebody took 10 years. No.
That's a long road.
Check this out again. Roots.
Deep roots.
You're on the surface.
Right. But that was really important for me. And even when I first met Fuzzy, I was telling him, yeah, you got to share all this. He's like, what? I got to share everything?
Wait, what? I don't know about that. Yeah, that was a little bit different, but then it dawned on me, like, the way I grew up, my grandparents was all about, giving their shirt off their back, helping each other, helping Ohana, helping friends, and then, yeah, what? Let's just do it. Let's go. We did the bus tour, and it never stopped. It just
never turned
The
back.
bus kept going.
The bus keeps
abundance
rolling.
Yeah, it keeps
just
rolling.
keeps on rolling, right?
Yeah, it's like the more you give, the more you get.
And
But
it's so crazy. Like, more and more opportunities is like coming in, like the floodgates. Like, every day,
It's the blessings.
the opportunities is just flowing through my phone and my emails. It's like, what the hell? It's like I'm not even looking for deals, and it's just coming my
Let
way.
us know.
Well, you can
Yeah. Just let us know.
The email on the top right, you can hit the 3 dots. It says forward.
Yeah, just forward.
Forward. There you go.
Yeah.
CC.
If you're too busy, don't worry. Forward.
Just
Well,
give us your login.
Right? Well,
We'll
that's
answer
it.
them for
asking
you.
The importance is just to surround yourself by the same, like you
Yeah.
said, your network of people, because a lot of people that, why would they share this, or why, I don't know anybody else who does this. And it's like, well, then get around a new group of people.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
And that will lift you up, or that will be actually genuinely happy for you, because that's how we feel, especially about everyone we connect with. And I'm so glad that we connected with you guys. And you have to have that open mindset, because not everybody is out to get you, even though, you know, certain ways that we grew up is definitely teaches you to have your guard up. But as soon as you realize that there are good people out there that really want to see you succeed, stay close to them. I know there's been a lot of people in my life who have encouraged me, and unknowingly, you know, I just listened to them and my life got a whole lot better. And I was like, oh, okay, I can trust you now. So I do get why a lot of locals, their guard is up. Maybe they've been burnt in the past and things like that. But I think when you're around real, true, genuine people, you can feel it and just, like they say, just stay close to them.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just taking action. I think, you know, like we have so many resources available out there. You know, you have the Hui Mastermind. You also have, like, you know, there's Fortune Builders, as we mentioned, Ryan Panetta. Like, there's all these different avenues that you can pursue. Find one that works for you, that you can relate to, and then go for it, and not just go there and listen, but really just get involved. And, like, you know, like you said, like, not only talk stories with people, get to know people, and then collaborate and such. And that's going to be your accountability partner, to be like, hey, let's keep this, you know, the wheels turning and such, instead of like going to something, yeah, that was fun, and then a week later passes, then it turns into a month, and then it turns into 6 months. Then you're like, oh man, I got to go again, or maybe I got to do a different one or whatever. But just really taking action and just really holding yourself accountable, you know, like get a partner and be like, okay, let's do this, you know, let's do this, and just get fired up. Just get fired up. Yeah. No analysis paralysis. Just go. Because Eddie would go.
Right. Eddie would.
He would.
And he did.
And he did.
Well, and that's it for us too. I just know that we just take immediate action. And that's what we tell people as well, as like, even if you just need that little nudge from someone, that's what a community is for, a program or whatever, whoever you're around is, you may just need that one person to be like, yes, you're right. Go out and get it.
And I think that's a good thing, like you were saying, is having that partner, right? Or somebody on the phone that you can literally count on to be that person, to be, this guy not going to sugarcoat this. I'm going to call this guy, hey, you know what? Fuzzy, what do you think about this? Right? You know, this is this. Okay, sorry, uncle. You know? But having that, it's like how she said, right? The accountability coaches or partners or friends or like-minded individuals that you can actually count on, and they're going to tell you the truth, right? They're not going to sugarcoat it. And that's just, you know, part of it.
Yeah. Encouragement for sure. Like today I was talking to one of my friends, called me, and so she was like asking about real estate investing, and I told her, I said, girl, you've been talking about this for 2 years. Come on, let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's sit down, let's talk stories, let's collaborate. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, all right, okay, next week we're meeting up. You know, put it on the calendar. We're meeting up.
That's the thing. Like a lot of us get that paralysis, like, or fear that,
it's the fear,
or like fear of failing. Right?
Yes,
like,
right.
Or thinking what your family or your friends gonna say. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why people don't start. Yeah, you know, right. That's why we need like partners to join, so that you can have that little push, or some type of coach or mentor, which will help.
And I think like people, you know, they have fear because fear is really a lack of knowledge, right? And so the more and more you learn and grow, the more people you surround yourself with, and just immerse yourself into this circle, this new group circle of friends, then I think you'll get that confidence to be like, you know what, that fear is no longer this much fear. Now it's like this much, because hey, you know what, I got my people, they got my back, and you know what, we're gonna do this, you know, type of thing.
So what kind of advice would you give for someone who is kind of like on the fence about like joining a coaching program or maybe investing more into their education?
I would say, you know, just go for it. I mean, you know, definitely do your research and such. And like, you know, I think you just have to make sure that you're sound with yourself, and just make sure that, you know what, in your mind, like you got to almost prepare yourself to be able to handle the certain stresses, because it's not all fine and dandy. It's not all roses. Like there's times I want to rip out my hair. I want to rip out his hair, you know, type of thing. And so I'm just like, rip out your hair. No, rip out mine and rip out yours. And, you know, I'm going to punch him in the throat. No, just kidding. Just kidding. When he's sleeping. No.
UFC over here.
But yeah, I think it's just,
it's part of the fight, you know, and for new beginners, keeping it real, because this industry is not for the weak. It's not. And if you have any doubt in your own personal self, reevaluate your self-worth. You know, you gotta be tough. You gotta have tough skin. Yeah. You gotta be able to get into the grind. You know, it's not gonna be coming on a silver platter and here's $280,000. It's not gonna come. You gotta be able to fight, and you gotta be able to work in the trenches. Right? You can't reap the benefits from the outside at the very end of the process. You gotta be in that trench to be able to, you know, because there's gonna have times that you're gonna be a punching bag. You're going to be a punching bag, whether it's from the real estate side, the investor side, construction side, subcontractor, inspectors, right? All of this stuff, or your bulldozers, right? Everybody that you're dealing with, you become this punching bag that you're operating. This whole circus is what we call it, right? It's like, okay, well, I've got this. Wait, whoa, what's going on? Wait, this guy is, you know, he has the bottle flu. He's not showing up, and you got to be ready to fight. And for the new people coming in, it's sign up for an educational platform that's going to fit you as a person. Don't do it because somebody else says, oh, I did this. Do your research. Look at the people that's operating these programs and see if you can relate to them, right? Listen to their stories, read up on them, and at the same time, do your own due diligence, because the proof is in the pudding, right? We're sitting down with two locals that are crushing it in the game. So when people say, I only see them over here, I only see them over there, they only do this, they go there, like, you know, they're, you know, if you walk a day in their shoes, you know, I was able to be blessed with hanging out with Fuzzy in the Hilo side, and, you know, coming home at 10 o'clock in the nighttime, and that's the day, right? And it's like, okay, but that's showing that the grind don't stop, right? So knowing,
brother,
right, that was an adventure.
Not too much people got a chance to do that because nobody asked, right, or wasn't around. But you know, the people that surrounded what I do on a daily basis, like, dude, I'm super busy. My phone's blowing up. Plus, we gotta, you know, deal with my family. You know, it's a constant battle, but trying to delegate things now to get my time back. You know, that's the battle right now. It's trying to get my time back, and it's slowly happening.
Yeah, that's
one
the
who better
goal.
to learn from than someone who's actually doing it.
Right.
Right.
Somebody who's still in the grind, somebody who knows.
And they do it every day.
Right.
It's not a hobby. You know, you're not doing it as a hobby. You're doing it as a lifestyle and a livelihood. That's your career.
Right.
And that's how I feel for the newcomers, is just like how you said, associate yourself with the people that's in the game and like-minded individuals to get that, like, man, they're doing it, why can't I do it? Or she's doing it, or he's doing it. It is possible. So follow the leaders, you know, because it's gonna save you a lot of costly mistakes if you try and lead the way of something that you don't even know the leadership role of. So, you know, you guys have this, you know, your guys' program, and, you know, it's put out there, and it's pretty much the, you know, it's the gateway to even start. Right, and all you guys' knowledge and wisdom that you guys, you know, Fuzzy's done over 100 homes already, right? Your portfolio inside the, you know, the real estate game for commercial, right? Apartments, RVs, all of this other stuff that you guys already done. It's already, the numbers don't lie, right? And you guys are in the positions that you are now with your financial freedom, being able to do what you do, and taking time out of your own busy schedules to put on this program and offer it to the public for a minute price compared to what we paid for this, right? You paid 20-something thousand. We're almost $40,000 swiping a card, but we did get a cool backpack.
We still have it. We still have it.
But you have the backpack.
We
got it,
that backpack is back.
Yeah.
No, and that's what we tell people. We still, to this day, we
give
invest.
a backpack.
No,
Oh, no.
I did get a backpack too. I got a backpack for free.
I'm
No,
gonna take
just
off
kidding.
from work because use Mine's all busted
No,
up
but
already.
for us too, we just tell people like it's never ending. But
Mhm.
even educational wise, we still
Yeah.
spent probably over the years over $100,000 because
Mhm.
we wanted to get to our goals quicker. And so if
Right.
you want to scale, like said, take 3 years or you take 10 years.
Mhm.
It just depends on how much
Oh.
you invest in your. I'm not pointing you out. Not pointing anybody out. But
She did hers in 3.
but I'm just saying, if you want to get to your goals quicker, then
Invest.
investing in yourself is a
Yes.
huge part of what's helped us become successful.
Yeah.
She
And
has
also,
she
like,
has
you
a
know-
shirt too, right?
Yeah.
That she's created. It's a student for life,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? And she
Yeah.
has that shirt that she wears, right? It's because every time you are a student, and when you
Mhm.
stop learning, that's
You
really
stop
when
growing.
You stop growing, right?
Mhm.
So if you just keep, your ears open and listen and absorb
Yeah.
from
And
the
just
people
like,
that are around, it's
Mhm.
you can grow real quick.
yeah. And like, I think what's really important is like keeping an open mind, and be able to, roll with the punches, how we're talking about earlier, is like having your mind so right so that when it does come, I'm good, you can go through the trenches, but also, give yourself grace. Like, you don't know what you don't know until you go through it. Then you're like, holy smokes, but then be able to look back and be like, you know what? I actually made it through that. I thought I was going to die,
That's
type
a
of thing.
storm,
Yeah. That was like
a long one.
tycoon. Like, it was
Right.
like,
I just went through about
Yeah,
a month
type-
and a half storm. I could tell you all about it.
Well, maybe do share
Yes.
though. No,
Okay.
let's share.
Well,
some.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
not maybe not that specific one if you don't want to,
And
but
then
just,
just
some
weathering,
challenges.
yeah, just weathering the storms,
Right.
and like
Mhm.
I can speak in just the construction field, dealing with materials, right? Materials is another one. Saying, and then stores is another one, right? We're dealing with big box stores that don't really give two things about us, right? Because they're gonna get our money no matter what.
Mm.
Lowe's, Home Depot, right? I just dealt with one the other day. We spent over $6,000, and I was trying to have these guys pull my order to get my material ready. My guys went there twice to pick up the order. Nothing was pulled, so I spent hour and a half every day. These guys get paid $40 an hour to sit there now, right? And then I get an email a week later saying, "Aloha, Nick, your order has been canceled." Wait, what? So now I'm calling the manager. What happened to my order? They're like, "Oh, it took you guys too long to pick up the order." I go, time out, pump your brakes, because I've been trying to get your guys to pull my order to get it palletized so you guys can forklift it in my truck so the workers can take it to the job and we can continue the project.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, well, I'm so sorry this happened. We went to go repay the bill, and now they want to charge us a 6% restocking fee. And I go, what are you restocking? You guys never even pulled my order.
Mhm.
And I told the boss, I go, the only thing that you need to restock is your employees. And they were quiet. They didn't even know how to respond, right? But I'm like, you're dealing with this stuff, but at the same time, on the back end, the clients or customers don't really
Time
care
is
what's
money,
going on,
yeah.
right? They're looking at it like, okay, here we go again, da 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 da, right? So, but like in the investing world, we understand that
Mhm.
as being realtor, construction, investor. If something happens on the front line, we're okay with it because we already dealt with this,
Mhm.
right? So those challenges is stuff that you got to be ready to be able to pivot,
Yeah.
not only for the company, but even the workers. Right now, the workers are dead at standstill at the job. Like, they need to get paid. They got to have bills to pay. So what are you going to do?
Mhm.
You got to have another job. Move them. We don't got material. You guys can go to so-and-so job and go hammer that job.
Right.
And also to add to what he's saying too, is like, so we also like, not only do we work together, but then we're married, like, so you have to be good with yourself, but also it has to work with your family. It has to be okay with your spouse too, because if not, there's times where we wanted to be mad
Just
at each
box.
other.
Just
Yeah.
box.
Just throw them down. You know what I mean? Just grapple a little bit.
Jab, and then we end in jujitsu.
Whoa.
But
okay.
little jabs here
Yeah.
and there, bob and weave,
Yeah.
sticky move. But
So,
it's part of the
Mhm.
journey, though, right?
Right.
We signed up for it,
and
we
figuring
knew.
out like our roles along the
Mhm.
way, because we don't know,
Yeah, because we're at the time we're new and we're just winging it, right? We had a program and we had a few coaches that were not live, Not
Mhm.
like tangible, like, hey, what's up, Zasha? Hey, Fuzzy.
Calling straight to the phone.
Wow,
Yeah.
whoa, eat lunch. Like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like
You
having
guys
that
never
is
had
priceless.
any coach in Kona, right? The only coach
No.
that had was the
It's all
coaches in Oahu.
right. So there's no
Mhm.
live,
Yeah,
there's
right,
no
right,
live
right.
nothing, right? Compared to what you guys are offering. Like, look at your students. They're blessed to have what you guys are offering, because you guys don't only have a curriculum. You guys don't just teach them that basic stuff.
It's
and
like
give you
open
guys,
book,
It's open
like-
book. You guys are opening everything that you
Mhm.
guys knew from the start to the beginning, do's and don'ts, right? So you're stopping a lot of them from falling already. And then you guys do live meetups, right?
Mhm.
And then you guys have the open Q&A meetups, and everybody gets to meet you guys and talk with you guys for 2-3 hours.
And at HPM too, like really like, making that connection, like, hey, these are your people that you can, contact with and such. Like, I totally wish I was on that bus. The first one you guys had, I missed the bus because we were in Vegas, and I was like, I want to go to this. He's like, no, we got to go to Vegas. I'm like, dang it.
So
But,
there's
I
priorities,
so wanted to be
Right?
there.
So yes, we regret the bus riding, but hey, we're on our bus
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, we're on the bus
Right?
now.
So,
we
but-
in the trailer in the back, but
So
nah,
yeah,
just
long
kidding.
story short, that what you guys are offering is super. It's awesome for the newbies that are coming on. Even the seasoned vets, you're always going to learn something.
Yeah.
You
or
can hang
collaborate
out.
again, right?
You can hang out with
Mhm.
you and talk half an hour, and somebody's going to learn something that they never knew, and also
Right.
yourself.
Mhm.
So
When I think that's the value that we bring to is, even though we do work together, we do things differently. We have different strategies, like you mentioned. Mine had I was more focused on fix and flips, and then the commercial space with RV parks, office building, apartments.
Mhm.
And for him, it's really the new build process has been his bread and butter, and that's what he's able to just showcase with people. Like, you can still, a lot of people, feel like, oh, I can't do it here, it's so expensive. But he's showing people like, hey, you can still stay in Hawaii and invest in Hawaii. It's possible. You might not be able to do it on your island.
Mhm.
You live on an expensive island, but the big island is still there for you. And so that's more so why we're called to show more locals, because we don't want them to have to leave Hawaii.
Mhm.
Christ out of
Right,
paradise.
exactly.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we
Yeah.
give the fact that it is a fact that it is expensive to live here. But the choices that we make, right, is where we end up tomorrow, or decides our future. So what are you deciding? Right? You decide to educate yourself, learn a skill, learn something that can stack your money or build money
Mhm.
to be able to stay here, or go away, right? Which is, it's okay to go away, but just learn something while you're away. If you want to come back home, you
Mhm.
can, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that move away, and then just whatever their spending habits or their situation that they had here followed
Goes there.
Mhm.
yeah.
They're in the
and
same
they just
position.
stay in the same
Mm.
same situation. So it's really trying to get out of the situation you're at. It's by, of course, learning from someone that is successful, who's actually doing what you want to
It's
do.
that
Mhm.
vicious cycle, right? It's the vicious cycle that people get stuck in the monotony, right? And they think because they were taught that that's the life, that's how life's supposed to be, and it's okay. And they're used to that paycheck to paycheck, and they're okay. And like how she said, being comfortable with being uncomfortable because it's a change. Like, whoa, wait, what?
Mhm.
I got to do this and this and this. Like, that's not heard of, And a lot of people, another question that comes up to me is, man, I don't have money to do this thing. Guess what? Our whole strategy is not to use our own money. It's to use other people's money.
Mhm.
Let the rich guys let us borrow your money
Mhm.
to make you a double-digit return, guaranteed by real
Or
estate.
single, I like single.
Or
games.
single,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
We work
Mhm.
at singles 6 to 8, sometimes 10. But the thing is that's another hurdle that people have, that fixed perspective is, I gotta have money to invest.
Right.
Mhm.
But not everybody starts with money. We're trying to make money, so we utilize the banks that have the big money, or private people, and we'll just use their money and let it work for us, and we'll get paid at the end. So
Yeah, and that's what Zasha and I was just
Mm.
talking about. We were just talking about creating one YouTube video about not having any money. You still can do real estate, right, in
Mhm.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
You just need to learn the strategies that the people
that you
who
guys are going to
doing it.
teach,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Learn
Right.
the strategies that you guys are willing to teach them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't have the 26K when
Mhm.
when I first started, or I paid for the Fortune Builders. It
Mhm.
was my credit
Mhm.
that I was able to get from the bank. I
Mhm.
borrowed the loan. I had a credit card. Wasn't my money, right?
Mhm.
But when I learned the skills from these coaches, I was able to pay back that loan and the
Mhm.
credit card, and then it was all profit from there on out.
Right.
Because the coaches had the money, they had the knowledge that
Mhm.
I wanted, and then the other students was bringing the deals, and I was in the middle with the construction knowledge or the construction team,
Mhm.
and I was just reaping the benefits.
I think too, you got
It's
to
the
figure
funnel.
out what
funnel.
what you bring to the table. What is your
Mhm.
strong suit? Yeah. What
Mhm.
can you provide in order? What is your piece in that puzzle?
Right, because some people might have a deal, but they don't have
Mhm.
the money, and some
Right.
people might have the money, but they don't have the deal. Well,
Mhm.
hey, collaborate.
Right.
You know, when you go to these,
Right.
you know, events and such, and these masterminds, then you're able to like exchange knowledge and be like, hey, you know what? I get one coming up. You want to partner? Yeah, let's do this, and then it goes from there. When we first started our first flip, I sold a house and I took my $11,000 commission check, and that's how everything started. 11 grand. And I used that money, used other people's money. We had private money lenders. And it doesn't have to be like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, you know,
Sometimes, though.
I mean, that's always
Are-
great. But,
are you out there? Are you
know,
out
but
there?
how many people get that kind of money though, right? So,
Right.
If
you
you,
know,
are,
any one of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just kind of starts from there, and just knowing that yeah, you don't need $100,000. You know, you can start with a smaller amount, and then you know, just once you know and learn the system, then you just go from there, and then that's just how it just snowballed.
flipping ain't easy.
Mhm.
Well, and I think it brings it back to, like you mentioned in the beginning, your mindset, right? You
Mhm.
have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Take action and know that, okay, you just put 26 grand on your credit card. That 20% interest is going to
Mhm.
come quick.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
better figure out a way to make it happen
Mhm.
and make money because you got to pay it back.
Yes.
But I think that was huge, especially for me wanting to quit my job. I think that was a huge motivation and spend more time with my kids.
Right.
So
yeah.
that drove me into, no, I don't care if it's like jumping off the plane without a parachute, right?
Mhm.
It's like, or not knowing where the thing is, and you get educated first, you connect with other people, and then you just do it. Like it's not an easy process, right? But it is simple. It's
Yeah.
simple to figure out. If you buy a house at this price, it takes this much to fix it up. These are the money costs. This is what you could sell. Then that in between is your profit.
Right. And there's tools out there, there's calculators that can help you, guide you, and walk you through that process and such. And so it's understanding those numbers. That's the biggest thing, is just knowing what is a deal and what isn't a good deal. And by having mentors and coaching and such, you know, they can help you train. Basically, you have to train your brain to acknowledge, like, hey, you know what, I think this is a good one. Then eventually you'll start seeing more opportunities, like, oh, what, there's that.
Right.
You know what, well, in that area, you know, there's a good return on investment, and then you just, you know, kind of go from there. So anyways.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's been such a great time spending with you here on the pod. I mean, like, you know, where can our followers find you? Social media, like.
That's the only place I Instagram. That's
Mhm.
about it, you know. Nick Ani, and then that's
Your
my
wife.
Hey, mahalo for watching today on Investing in Hawaii. We would like you to watch more, so click the like button, subscribe, that little red bell, click on it so it goes ding, and share with anyone that you think needs this. Mahalo again, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Aloha.